Hello, I'm Graham Fitch and coming to you as always from Steinway Hall in the centre of London. And this video is going to be all about legato. Legato fingering, whether we need to actually join by hand, to what extent do we need to join by hand, can we let the pedal do some of the work for us? And hopefully by the end of this demonstration you'll have some idea as to what's possible with that. So if I take a melodic line, let's take this from the beginning of Schumann's Humoresque. Play just the top. Now I want to join each sound by finger. Why? Because the pedal's going to be down. Let me just play that with the left hand. Because I want to be able to feel the connections between each finger in the melodic line so that I can shape my line much more beautifully and much more easily than if I let go of some, even though the pedal's down. And I'm going to show you how that works in the next example, the Schubert B-flat impromptu. I had somebody come for a consultation lesson with me before their diploma, and this was on the program. I'm sitting at the other side of the room, so I can't see this person's hands, but I know that they're pedaling through. Let me show you. They're pedaling something like that, one pedal for each harmony, which is a very standard way of pedaling. So I could hear from across the room that even though the pedal was down, the touch in the left hand was staccato. So the pedal does not cover over touch. You can hear their staccatos in the left hand, can't you? Even though the pedal's down. So the fact that the pedal is down does not stop there being staccato-ness in my sound. If I play staccato, my sound is going to be staccato, even though the note rings on. So this presents us with a little bit of a dilemma, because there are obviously some exceptions to this. First thing I'm going to do is to show you an example from Brahms. It's a very popular piece, the Opus 118 number 2 intermezzo that probably many of you play, and this is the opening of the B section. It has this beautiful long line in the right hand. That I want to connect. Now I can control so much more easily the relationship between one sound and the next when I connect. All of us who play know that yummy feeling of almost over-joining. See what I'm doing there? I'm reluctant to let go of the key, and I can control exactly how much sound I use on the next note because I can feel it under my hand. Now in the left hand I've got a cello line. Playing it now without the pedal. Just to show you how legato I want that to feel under my hand. That's without the use of the pedal yet. Now let me put my pedal on the top of that. Breathe. When I get to, for example, this last little phrase here, I've got superfine control of my sound because of the connections. So my pedal I need to blend all the sounds together, but I also want to feel under my hand the connections. Because it's a vocal line, it's an expressive line that would come from the voice. Now, the next example I'm going to show you, again, a very popular piece, the Prophet Bird from Schumann's Waldszenen. The most gorgeous little piece, this. The edition I've got, and I checked out many of them, they all seem to have very kind of complicated fingering. I'll show you my fingering. I just simply lift. I'll show you in a minute. lift the hand. So I'm connecting by foot, so you don't hear any gaps. This bit in particular, the fingering in this edition, I won't tell you which one it is, 4 on the top, and then they want me to cross over here with a 4, cross over with a 2. Why do that when you can much more easily put a 4 here and then a group of fingers that start from the 5th? Let the pedal. Easy. I don't have to do any pivoting over my thumb. I don't want to make a big gap here in my hand. I don't want to do anything like that, but just very discreetly release. And I can control my tone so much better like that. So that's an example of where I would release and let the pedal do the job, but not in any flamboyant way. We don't want to make anything theatrical. We actually want to do it very discreetly, almost as though we hadn't done it at all. Another very popular piece, the reason I'm choosing these pieces is because lots of you play them, I know. The G-flat impromptu of Schubert. Now, I'm using an edition here which has very complex fingerings, I think unnecessarily complex fingerings. I'm going to show you. Let me play the beginning. We all know this piece. There's a good example of tonal control. I want my B flat here to be firmer and my G flat to be softer. It would be much easier to control the sound, the relationship between the B flat and the G flat, if I could connect physically. I could grade that exactly as I want it. But if I have to lift my pinky and reuse my pinky, I can still grade it, but it's a little bit less easy to do, because I have to listen much harder. I have to concentrate more on controlling that, whereas I wouldn't have to work so hard if I let my fingers do it. But we do have to release there. Now this phrase, let's look at that last bar that I played. Now the fingering in the edition that I'm using asks me to substitute it somewhere here to the 4th finger on that G flat so that I can connect it here. And now make a substitution here, 4 to 5. That is really cumbersome. Sorry, I don't really see the point of that when I can just use all 5s. Easy and much more convenient. Don't hold on to long notes necessarily. The very beginning, you can, if you've got a small hand, you can injure yourself if you cling on to that note. Let the pedal take it. Let go. Especially I'm looking at bar 10. Why cling on to that D flat? Even if you can, it creates tension in the hand. Let go of it. Change pedal here and not there. So release, change, hold. The same here. Release, change the pedal there on the quarter note, on the crotchet. So I am very, very judiciously letting go of notes. I'm going to move to another example. This is from Ravel's Sonatina. For those of you that like to know the bar numbers, actually I don't have the bar number. Yes, I do, bar 43, sorry. I thought I didn't have it. Now, I can remember when I was a student learning this piece and trying to make sense of this. Trying to redistribute, so I could make a legato between the G sharp and the D sharp underneath. I was trying to redistribute some of these notes underneath, and it kind of worked at a slow tempo. But when I played it fast, it didn't make sense until I realized that I could just move the pinky down it's all in the pedal anyway. Here I use a 3, 5, 5, 5, 5. And again, I have to really concentrate so that I don't bang when I move my pinky down. Just another example, this time from Debussy, Jimbo's Lullaby from the Children's Corner, where I want to feel really nice connections. I'll show you it's actually in bar 49 onward. Let me play from the beginning of the phrase. Yeah. Now, let me just go to bar 49 and show you what I'm doing. Debussy's written a great long slur over that, meaning legato. So I've got a pedal, of course, but I want to feel the connections in my hand here. I have to release my thumb in order to reuse it. There I can make a connection in both voices. Do you notice how I'm moving in my wrist here? Just a little bit. Just lining up behind the pair of notes I'm playing. Now here, this is an interesting situation because in order to avoid a stretch to 5 and 3, what I do is substitute 4, 2 to 3 and 1. Now you may think, well, that's going to take a lot of time. It actually instant like this. Let me show you. And it gives me a really lovely connection in both voices. Just helps me control my sound so much better than if I were to just let the pedal do it. So take it on a case-by-case basis. When it's a big, long legato line, aim to connect by hand when you can, but if it causes stretches and problems, then let the pedal take some of the strain. Thank you so much for watching.